Welcome, Capricorn, to your Astrology reading for August. Hope you guys are doing great out there. Okay, guys, let's get in here. Have a big, powerful month this month within that Lion's Gate that we're sitting in right now, getting ready for it to peak on the 8th, and then it will close down on that new moon in Leo on the 12th. Then we have a partial lunar eclipse on that full moon in Pisces on the 28th. So ramped up, very powerful month this month. So let's get in here, guys, and see what's going on with you. For those of you who are new, this is where I take astrology with tarot, make a small horoscope for the month using only one of the 12 houses, which will be the theme of the reading. If I see anything else that doesn't have to do with the theme, if it's really catching my attention, I will tell you what that is, okay? So let's get in here. Ooh. Having some Leo energy coming out in the North Node. Ooh, in the 5th house. Okay. Using Vesta over here, mostly for visual aids, since we don't have the North or South nodes. It's also talking about that spirit within. So the North Node represents your ultimate destiny and unfamiliar path of growth. You're being pushed to embrace in this unknown path when it comes to the 5th house, right? Of love, creativity, things that you create, right? I'm just going to put it right there. It's already said it. I see it sitting right there. Doing it Leo style over here. This is the energy's flamboyant, dramatic, proud, passionate. It focuses on the importance of self-belief. Very theatrical sign. It's saying, though, right here, what I'm really noticing right here, guys, is it's almost like your spirit in itself, right? Your higher self is like demanding that you build the courage and express your heart openly and celebrate your unique talents, right? Because we're talking about creating things, having that fun, being romantic, opening your heart up to new romance. So you're definitely being nudged by the universe to step out from behind the scenes and just pretty much fully claim your personal joy. Time to leave behind anyone that's been cold to you, detached logic, and it wants you to just pretty much lead completely within your heart. The Leo is the 5th house, right? It is the 5th house, so it definitely has a lot to do with the heart. Think of the Wizard of Oz, if I only had a heart, right? With courage, okay? So it's definitely what's going on here, okay? So it's like the reading really was reminding me like the Tin Man versus, you know, and the lion. If you put them together, right? I need to have the courage and I need to have the heart. So whatever it is, the North Node here is really favoring these creative risks, pursuing romance that makes you feel alive, focusing heavily on what brings you pleasure. And the North Node is your destiny, so your destiny is pushing you to shine brightly, stand in the limelight, and stop hiding your light, right? Don't hide your light at this time. Manifest your heart's desire as well, since we are in this Lion's Gate. And with the lunar eclipse as well, 2 wonderful places to manifest. So let's get in here. We're getting straight into it. The situation is taking place at the beginning of the month, middle of the month, and the end of the month. The 5 of Swords. A lot of arguing. Magician in reverse. To the Chariot. Whoa. So the month starts off with this intense battle of wits. It's almost like you must overcome deception to claim your victory. 5 of Swords to the Chariot. You could be with someone who feels like they're winning at all costs. Maybe you're trying to win at all costs. But you could also feel like you're with someone who's trying to play dirty, get ahead, some kind of competition. You know, maybe you're in a band or in an art show or somewhere where there's, you know, you're bringing your creativity, right, into the spotlight, and maybe you're in this big competition, right? But you feel like they're playing a little dirty, right? So, I mean, there's some kind of high stakes challenge. It could even be a challenge in love if you know it's, you know, love. Maybe you feel like they're talking with you, they're arguing with you. The Magician is manipulation in reverse, so it could be a highly manipulative, untrustworthy person trying to use trickery, mind games, deceit behind the scenes to undermine your confidence or steal away your joy. It's just the whole joy. I mean, you know, maybe, you know, they're trying to play dirty over here in this competition that you're in. It could be any kind of competition, and maybe you feel like, you know, they're undermining the situation and it's really stealing your joy. Like, why would they do that, right? Why would they try to do such a thing? It reminds me of like Battle of the Bands, and like they get up there and they're like lip syncing, and like you're putting everything out there, but like the you know, crowd is going wild over this trickery, right? And it kind of steals your joy away. Like, wow, I didn't know you were going to go that low, right? I don't know, something crazy like that. That just kind of came up in my head. It could even be that you're trying to find love over here and they are completely undermining you, playing mind games with you as you're trying to show your love to this person, trying to give all to this person. And, you know, it's kind of like maybe you write them, call them, you know, you feel like you're blocked, and it's like, wow, I'm giving everything to you, and you're kind of killing the joy over here. I just feel like it's a killjoy. Sorry, guys. That's right. So it's almost like the North Node in Leo over here is, you know, you refuse to let their manipulation slow you down. We see that. I mean, that's what I'm seeing here. You refusing, you're saying, I don't care about the mind games anymore. I understand what's going on in this situation. So it could even feel like you might be trying to outmaneuver the trickster and go straight to the victory. And for others of you, it's like, oh, I see the mind games that you're starting to play. Okay. So I do feel like whatever it is, you're going to take control of this situation. You might like, you know what, I'm not dating you anymore. Too many mind games. I don't want to be. So let's see what's going on in the mid-month. Take it how it resonates. Queen of Wands, gossip. Ooh, Ew. Okay. I don't. You could be dealing with two different people in the mid-month. Could be this person, someone else. I mean, because it almost feels like the North Node, this faded piece, because you also have the awakening. It's like it's reckoning with this highly bitter, chaotic presence. Whether this is one person or two different people. This is vindictiveness, jealousy, deeply insecure, bitter, throwing temper tantrums, using manipulation as well. So I feel like that's still the same manipulative person. I still feel for a lot of you, you know, it's either somebody in the creative area of your life that you have to deal with pretty much all month, or it's a love situation. Because then we have the swords in reverse, which is reckless, aggressive, chaotic communication. Someone lashing out with anger and rushing in with some malicious words. I mean, just nasty. Knight of Swords is actually the nastiest, you know, when it comes to any kind of words. I mean, it pretty much, you know, even the king and the queen are not. The queen's pretty ice cold. She keeps herself pretty much back, but she can lash. King of Swords is head over heart. He can say some truths that hurt. But when it comes to just lashing out with just just vindictiveness, evil, just like, oh my God, why would you say things like that? It doesn't even mean, if it doesn't even have to be truth. It's just nasty. That's the Knight of Swords. Just because it's angry, it's fast, right? Those are the words that cut. I mean, so I do feel like this escalates into this full either public tantrum from them, if you guys are still in this competition throughout the month, throughout the beginning of the month to the mid-month, or it's just this person, you're out in public with them. It could be your love, the 5th house. It could be this person you're trying to date, even though you said, okay, whatever, right? And it's just like all of a sudden, it literally could be in public that they're taking on this temper tantrum. How embarrassing. I feel like there's this embarrassment, like they're just, you know, one stupid thing and they, you know, I'm sorry guys, this is like turning, now it almost feels like they're turning into some kind of, we're going to say Karen, okay, or Kevin, okay, where it's just like, this is out of control. And this isn't against anybody named Karen or Kevin, you know what I'm talking about, that's why, right, I use my intentions over here. Because that's exactly what it is. It just all of a sudden they just like, out of nowhere, they just like lash out, start screaming and yelling. And Knight of Swords, it could be profanities. Absolutely 100, because that's out of, this is a card that's out of control. It could even be that they're having an argument with someone else. Maybe they got their order wrong at McDonald's or something, or wherever you are, and they attack this person. It might not even be attacking you. They could even be attacking this other person. For some of you, they are. And they're making a huge scene about this situation. And then for others of you, they could be definitely attacking you in public. This is public. I believe this is public, making a huge scene. And if it's not public, it's within a group setting. Like you could be with another friend, a family member. This is definitely in the midst of another person is here. Making an arse of themselves for no reason. Just absolute panic, just boom. Could be, you know, it could be jealousy, whatever it is. It's going to be a little bit different for everyone, but it's definitely throwing spiteful words and launching verbal attacks. And like I said, if it's not towards you, it's definitely towards someone else. You know, it's kind of funny for some of you. It could even start with someone else. Or it could start with you and then someone else gets involved in the situation and then they start attacking them too. Like, why are you in my business? Okay, so this is just chaotic noise at this point. But you're waking up to this understanding. Like, wow, that's how you're going to act around my family, my friends, in public, at my workplace, whatever. End of the month, strength. There we go. There's that strength that you've been trying to gather this whole time. That, you know, because it's almost like, you know, they're like puncturing your strength. And it almost feels like you feel, you know, like, okay, so how am I going to, you know, get on with this? No, the devil, toxic. Yep. Could even be some gossip going around. Others may be gossiping about this person going crazy. 3 of Swords, there it is. I do feel like there is another person around. It could have other people talking about how crazy this person acted. Trying to ruin your personal joy out of envy, and here's the toxicity. Wow. So really what I'm seeing at the end of the month, as it wraps up here, guys, is this intense test of willpower with the Strength card. There's this struggle against this toxic attachment or this toxic situation that's going on. I really do feel this is a love thing. This is the person that's more attached to you than just, you know, it could be like you and a band member having words with someone else and they lashing out. Maybe your band member is lashing out at them because, you know, because this is definitely something deeper than just some battle of the bands with the other person, because this is an inner circle. I'm starting to see it now. This is definitely an inner circle. This person's closer to you than just some clash of between two rival bands or something. This is deeper than that. You can see it now. Between the Devil, the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and the Three of Swords, it's something more it's definitely internal. So, I mean, you could have had a clash with the bands over here, but it could be a bandmate and this other person getting into it, but they're turning into some, you know, Kevin over here or some Karen. But you're asking yourself, do we really want this type of person in our band, in our circle? Because look, they've embarrassed us all. If this is a love situation, you have to ask yourself, because this is asking yourself, is it worth all of this to keep this around? Is this really where we need to be? Is this really where I need to be? Right? And we, as in, you know, a band, a group. Does this person really need to stay with us? Because they just embarrassed the shit out of us by snapping on this other, you know, this other person. Because whoever's snapping is, like I said, it's within the internal group. It's a friend, it's a love, it's something. It's not somebody on the outside. It's in the inner circle. It's asking you to master your inner emotions, but it's also asking you how you're going to handle this major storm when it comes to this person that you're dealing with. Is it worth it? Is this something that I need to take care of today to make sure that it's never going to happen again? Or is it something that we're going to have to work on within, this is one of those things. It's like, if this is love, you need to figure out if it's truly the path that you want to continue down. Is it worth the headache? Do you feel like this person's going to snap all the time? Is it really worth it? Because, I mean, they've really embarrassed you. This is really bad. If it's in a group setting, you're asking yourself, you know, am I going to come up with this conclusion by myself, or do we have to get as a group together to do this? Do we want to take this risk? Because if we're out traveling and we're out at other bands, we're doing other competitions, we're doing other things, is this going to continue, or should we let this go? Is it good for our, you know, for our band? Is it good for my joy? Because this just sucked the joy right out of everything. Everything just went to hell when it comes to this situation. And I mean, if this isn't you know, within a family and close friends connection, you have to ask yourself, is it worth being in this emotional crossroads with this situation? Because how do I know they're not going to snap on my cousin again? You know? So it's almost like you have to have your, you know, some kind of checklist over here and facing that raw, unfiltered truth of the situation. We can't have this happen again. So, I mean, there is a cycle of heartbreak, right? Or intense obsession here. This person might even, you know, if this is a love situation, they may even be very obsessed with you. And maybe that was where the jealousy was coming from. You know, it could even be that you have a really old friend and, you know, you're of the opposite sex, and then they get jealous over the situation and snap on that old friend. So you are weighing, you know, you're weighing the intense attraction against the massive headache. So you're going to have to decide whether to break the chains for good or stay in this karmic loop, because it is going to become a karmic loop. We see the karma. I will tell you, for the majority of you, this will be embarrassing. this person, whoever they are, within your group setting or within your love situation and within this situation is going to be very embarrassing. Because it's so out of control. You cannot tell me this is not out of control. These are two really out of control people. Okay, and like I said, this could be one person who's jealous. I just feel, now that I'm seeing it, I think it's just one person. I think it's them. This jealousy, this anger, and then boom, words coming up. So the Queen of Wands, I do believe, is the Knight of Swords, guys. Okay, who is the Magician in reverse. Okay, who is the Devil. Okay, my friends, until next time, peace and love. Bye-bye.